How's it going, guys? Chef Leo here with the Art Institute of San Antonio. We're going to be doing corn tortillas today, my passion. So I'm actually gluten-free. I have a wheat sensitivity. No, it's not a fad, it's not a trend. I do not want to be gluten-free, but one of the things that I've learned is I have to make a corn tortilla taste better than a flour. So the combination method I'm going to use is about 7 or 8 different techniques that I picked up along the way. And it's super simple to make. So one of my favorite brands to use is a Maseca brand. As well as this masa. This is a blue corn. When we do this, I love blue corn tortillas, but today we're going to demo out the yellow. So all we have is some masa here, about 2 cups. We're going to need some good coarse kosher salt, and then we're going to have some lukewarm to hot water. That is very, very, very important. I'm using a bigger bowl than I would normally use just to kind of show you the technique and what we need to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to do about a cup, right? A lot of this, like with cooking, this is one of those great recipes. If you're used to sticking to a recipe, if you're used to sticking to a quality and having and eating those measurements, this is one of the great recipes to try out where you're not following an actual recipe. We're gonna do 2 big pinches of salt. All right, and then I'll do a little bit more masa. And then from here, the water. So this is where the water gets a little tricky. If you're unsure and you're unstable, have shaky hands, or using a big vessel, you can just go in about a 1/4 cup at a time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go kind of right in the middle and just let it sit. From here, take a clean hand, and we're just gonna go big circles. Big circular motion. What I'm doing is I'm not crimping the dough, I'm not clamping on it, I'm not doing any of that. I'm rubbing along the sides, I'm getting in where that masa is dry, and I'm trying to work it to where those crumbles are. As you can see, we're having like little pebbles form, little rocks. From here, I know I need a touch more liquid. So once again, be careful. In cooking, what we learn is this: you can always add, you can never take away. So I'll add a little bit more at a time. Let that come together. And now I'm gonna start just making little mounds. So make a little mound. Come through, come through. I'll see which part is actually dry, which part is wet. I'll go to the dry portions by itself and say, okay, it needs a little bit more water. So then same thing, we'll add a touch more. Once again, all feel. The temperature of the water really does make a difference. If it's colder, you're gonna need to add a lot more. If it's hotter, you're gonna need to add a little bit less. So kind of finding that right temperature, how your bowl is, all that good stuff. So here, I'm pretty much all I can do in the bowl. So onto a clean work surface, we're gonna turn everything out. Set this to the side. And then from here, we're just gonna bring it together, similar like you would do like a pasta dough, but I'm not gonna be crushing it. I don't wanna squeeze it, because there is no gluten in this. I'm not trying to activate anything. The more and more you actually squeeze and pull on this masa dough, the denser it gets. So what I'm doing is I'm just working it till everything comes together. I'm not actually gonna do anything. I want it to be tacky. So all of those crumbles are coming together. We want it to feel like Play-Doh. A lot of people say wet sand. I haven't been to a beach in a long time, but as a child, I definitely remember what Play-Doh feels like. So here we go. We're rolling it up, we're rolling it up. Same thing, I just get a little bit on my hand. We'll work it in. Clean work surface works best. It's okay if that's a little wet. And here we go. Now it's starting to come together. On my surface, I'll roll it into a little bit of a ball. So now it's smooth. So now as you see, it's smooth. Look at my hands. My hands are gonna be a little wet, but they're gonna be clean. And when I go to push on, no dough comes off. All right, so here we go. Now the last thing, resting this masa dough is extremely, extremely important. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna put a damp cloth over it, damp paper towels, and we're gonna let that rest for about 30 minutes. All right, so it's been 30 minutes. These have been rested. They're nice. So what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna weigh these out. We like to make them about 1.5 ounce portions. So you can see they're still coming together. I'll put this out, 1.45. Right at about 1.5. We live in the 1.49, 1.5 range. What we're gonna do also is we're gonna go right back into this same bowl, and we wanna keep this damp towel over it. So after we have them all weighed out at about 1.5 ounces, there's a couple different ways we can actually roll these out. So first way is with the rolling pin. Great if you don't have a press, old school method, works fantastic. Another way, this is a nice aluminum press. They'll get the job done. My personal favorite is going to either be a wooden press or a cast iron press. This right here is my baby. I love this thing. So the way we do it is this wooden press. You'll treat it with natural wood oil like you would your cutting boards. And then we use a plastic bag. I prefer a Ziploc bag over parchment paper, anything like that. I feel like it works best for us. So here it is at dead center. We're gonna go a little bit low and left of dead center. We're gonna fold over the bag, make sure it's free of creases, gently fold the top part over, and we're gonna let the machine do the work. So do a nice press. I want it a little bit smoother, a little bit flatter. And here we go. Here's our first tortilla. So one of the common mistakes that a lot of people make when doing this is actually taking it off of the bag. So as you see here, we'll open the bag, pull it up. I'm gonna take my right hand. I'm right hand dominant. My pinky is gonna be at the bottom of this tortilla, and I'm just gonna gently pull the bag back. From here, it's perfectly on my hand. So when we go onto the sheet tray, I let the bottom part hit, and I naturally let it release my hand. A lot of times we go too fast in this motion, and I'll show you kind of what happens if you go too fast. A couple of things. So when you go to press it, you'll press it, and then when you come here, you'll just pull it off. And as you see, we already got some tears into it. We don't want that to happen. We want nice, smooth, clean, crisp tortillas. So again, off center left, fold the bag over, press down. I want mine a little thinner, so I'll press again. From here, pinky here, let it naturally glide onto my hand. So if we go to this one, right, I'll just kind of show you the difference. So same technique, we'll use a bag for it. With this one, you'll kind of see that it doesn't give you that full press that you're looking for, right? These, we like them a little thinner. If you want yours a little thicker, then this isn't a bad way, but same concept. We'll go a little bit left center, and the reason we're doing that is we don't want to get it too close to where it's here. We don't want to get it too low or too high. We want to kind of get that nice pressure. So here, same technique, we'll fold it over, and already you can see I'm pushing down a lot. And here's our tortilla. Off of one press, just to kind of show you the difference, same thing, one press, one press. To get this again, let's just say, well, you know what, that's not good enough. We want to press this a lot harder. So again, same thing, over, kind of press down. It doesn't get much bigger, it doesn't get much flatter, just for the sheer difference of the press. Once again, you'll see the difference just on the one. Are these necessarily bad? No, it's just different in technique and that you're using on the type of equipment. So now we're at our comal. If you don't have a comal, just any cast iron really will work. Cast iron skillet, even just an electric skillet will work. It doesn't have to be cast iron or anything like that. We've seasoned it with a little bit of oil and it's been preheating on medium to medium high heat. And we just want to gently place them. So once these guys are on a parchment paper, the same as we took them off of the plastic bag is the same way we're trying to put them on our hand. And then we let the bottom part hit and let it gently fall out of our hand. If you can arrange your press, your comal to cook 2 or 3 at a time, please do so. So we're going to try to fit 3 on this guy right here. Or let it cook. Now, this isn't like your home barbecue or anything like that. You don't want to mess with them. You don't want to flip them. They're going to cook, depending, 45 seconds to a minute per side. All right, I like mine with a little bit of color. I like them a little toasty. So what I'll do is I'll come in here. This is our fish spatula that's in our kit, or just a metal spat. And we like to come and just kind of check the edges, see where they're at. Just like when you cook chicken or anything, it's going to tell you when it's ready. It's going to release itself from the pan. So here we are releasing it. This one I dropped first, so we'll flip it. Nice, good color right in there. It's okay that the oil pooled, that's fine. And then same thing, we're gonna let these cook for about another 15 to 20 seconds. We're checking the edges. We'll flip that one. And then hot spots. We know that in cooking, hot spots arranged all around the griddle. So as you can see, I'm on 2 burners right here. So as we know, this side and this side are gonna be a lot hotter than this middle. So it's okay to move them around once you've cooked them. Just know which one you dropped on first. So I'll come back to this one, check it. Nice good color, we'll flip it back. And now I'm just gonna shuffle them around. I know that this side is gonna be a little hotter. So we'll get in here and we'll just kind of move them around. And we'll just let them cook, do their thing. Perfect, exactly. All right, so here you go. You see, you got a touch of color on it. It puffs up. Now, growing up, you used to hear a couple of different things that when it puffs up, you have a very good masa dough. In more recent years, one of my friends and former students here at AI, I'm sorry, not students, classmates at AI, her wise tell is when it puffs up, that means you're pregnant. So she always slaps it down. Teach their own. But here we are, we're gonna take them off. Once you take them off the griddle, you wanna have, I'll let that one get a little bit more color. You wanna have a towel and a bowl ready. So once you have this towel and this bowl ready, or if you have a tortilla holder, you wanna just cover them. The reason we're doing this is we wanna let that steam help it, keep it moist, keep it soft, and these are gonna be ready to enjoy right now. If you're saving them, these are good to save. What I would recommend is you par cook them, just to get a touch of color, and then you can throw them in the refrigerator, and when you go to reheat them, get them damp, just a touch, and then you can do the same process all over again. All right, so blue corn. So we talked about white and we talked about blue. This blue corn is my favorite. I feel like there's a touch more flavor than a lot of the white corns. This is what I do personally for when we do events. This is great. The main difference in cooking a white and a yellow versus a blue corn tortilla is a water content. These guys take a lot more water, but still, everything is by feel, everything is by touch, and the exact same cooking method. Let it cook for a minute on one side. We'll check our edges just to make sure we're not sticking. We'll let it cook and do its thing. And that's it, guys. Tortilla is super simple to make. As you can see, real simple ingredients. It's all about technique. So if you're looking for a recipe that doesn't involve a recipe, try this out. Feel it. The more you get involved, the more you get your hands wet, the better it's going to come out. So see y'all soon.